Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is SockBot, and today is a quick video, a quick tip video, if you will, but even if you won't, I want to talk about a couple tips that I have for creating faster. These tend to be the most popular videos that I have, and honestly, I can see why. A lot of what causes people to stop making games in the first place has to do with losing steam, and so my goal in these types of videos is to get you over that hump, or maybe give you a little bit of drive to jump back into a game that you're on hiatus from, like the 6 games that I'm on hiatus from. So, if that sounds interesting to you, please stick around. Feel free to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more, but as always, no pressure at all whatsoever. So, let me start off by saying, does this sound familiar to you? You create some basic asset and maybe a little bit of logic, but by the time that you're ready to actually design a level, you're exhausted and you feel like you need a break, which then turns into a week-long break, or even longer in my case. Well, this has happened to me 3 separate times so far in just Dreams alone, and for those of you who have been here for a little while, you know that level design is my favorite part, so stopping right before my favorite part is extra surprising for me. But after getting a little bit of excitement from other game creation channels here on YouTube, which, by the way, if you haven't looked up just generic game creation channels here on YouTube, like not focused on Dreams, those are very useful, and I do end up using a lot of their tips when I'm playing myself. But don't worry, I don't just steal all their tips and apply it to Dreams. Well, not all the time. Maybe once in a while. You don't know me. Anyways, I jumped back into creation after watching all of these, and I told myself one thing. Just start placing level assets like you always do. That's the suggestion that I always give other people, but this time I kind of may have gone almost overboard. I started using the assets that I had and pushing forward with the level, and anytime I ran into something new that would take too much time to make, I just used a placeholder. Less than an hour later, I had made more visible progress than I had in months, and honestly, it felt fantastic. Now, sure, it might look a little bit like visual chaos. It gets a little bit better later when I sort of come up with some rules for how I'm using these assets, but allow me to explain. First, you can tell that I haven't designed my character yet, but I have decided that I want to use the puppet as a base for my character, so it's enough to correctly size the puppet and modify its speed and jump mechanics for now, along with the gravity and various other things within the puppet settings. Then I was going to design and set up the logic for checkpoints, but checkpoints aren't really necessary for early playtesting, so I just added a sphere placeholder for those, kind of like the circular ones from Little Big Planet. Yes, I still love Little Big Planet, and that is still my mindset whenever I'm making new levels. But it's a bit janky, and, I see that, but it's fine for now, and so it let me keep moving, and that was the most important part of, well, basically what I'm trying to say in this video. I decided to do the same for the pits of fire, or whatever I'm going to make them in the future. Maybe some deadly gas? Is that... that sounds so dark. Oh my god, that sounds really dark, but I'm just referring to the deadly gas in Little Big Planet. That was one of the things that killed you. I'm sorry, too dark. Anyways, I was going to do that for all of the hazards in the level, might have been a safer way to say that, or whatever I will end up making them in the future, and even for the squishers later in the level, they might turn into spikes, not sure about that yet, but basically, they're going to move up and down and kill the player if they touch them, pretty basic concept, so I'm sure it won't take too long to make later on. The point of skipping all of these things is to continue progressing and to avoid getting discouraged, but I know a lot of people think, why wouldn't I make it now if I'm just going to have to do it later? And that's totally fair for a lot of objects. This does give you more work to do at the end of the level when you're using these placeholders, but throughout making this level, I've come up with a set of assets that I keep adding to the further I get into the level. Sure, I haven't made all of them, but the thought process has given me a set of assets to design my level around. And these assets are ones that I can keep placing down even if I haven't made them yet. Then all I will have to do at the end is make these few assets and replace the placeholders with them at the end. And honestly, that's not going to take a whole lot of time. I guess I think of this like traditional game design, where not everything has a texture during the game's production, and if you're slipping out of bounds of the level, or finding a lazy game designer, sometimes after the game's production, but game creation is not a linear process, and the more techniques that I discover, the more I realize why that is. We want to see progress, and having parts of a full playable level that aren't finished feels a lot better than having the first room, even if that first room is a bit prettier. This is true for assets in your level, and it's true for logic too. I know that we're all on different levels with the logic system in Dreams because some of us came off of Little Big Planets, and others from traditional game design, and others from no experience at all. But Dreams is now a beast for everyone, and so it's okay to skip over a moving platform because you haven't done that tutorial yet, or to use a placeholder for enemies because you don't know how to make them shoot the player yet. Work at these little by little for sure, but it's always important to keep moving. If you get stuck for more than about half an hour on something and you've made no progress at all, or if you get stuck for more than an hour on something and have made very little progress, honestly, I've found at this point using placeholders far increases my efficiency, even including the time that it takes to go back and replace those placeholders. But that's my process, and that's how I work. Maybe it's not how everyone works, but I think it might help some people out there. But you know what? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you completely disagree with me, like always, I say that is totally fine. I am down to debate this and try other people's techniques, as long as people are willing to give mine a try too. And so if you have tried this and it's worked for you, let me know. If you haven't, go ahead and try it, and then let's chat about which ones you have that work a little bit better than mine or something like that, and we can see if we can help each other, because that's what this is. This is a community of creators, and I don't just mean on my channel, I mean like on the Reddit, on everything to do with Dreams. So let's work together to figure out how the heck we are supposed to create entire games all by ourselves. Oh, that's a lot of work, but it's really fun. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a like down below. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. No pressure, all that kind of stuff. I will talk to y'all in the next video. Have a wonderful day, and goodbye!